Wind up on it. I don't know. You can turn around and happy for you to sit there and listen. Ayah, you are. Continue. I will turn. I will not turn. Just a few announcements before we start our next session of questions and answers. I hope the discussion among the youths were very good, fruitful, and obviously the food was good for the adults, and tea and coffee, that's very good. Just a few announcements again. If people who have not registered, if you want the registration form, it's up there, and either Ravi or Arul Muruganar will be there to help you. There are some books that is left on the table on my left, and the Saiva Vinavada English translation is there, which was published by Saivasithantha Center last year, 2 years ago, I think, or last year. It's $5, but it's really worth for both youth and adults to have it. That Armo Navalar was one of the pioneers from Jaffna who wrote about Sithantha and lots of things. And this book is a unique one. If you have grown up in Jaffna, Saiva Vinavada was one of the fundamental book that everybody had. It's a little one that everybody had, and that talks about how to pray in the temple, some principles of Saivasithantha. Cannot be concised in a little book, but and I saw there's another book there which I can strongly recommend. Aiyah has written all the other books he has written, but I think from my personal this thing, there is an English explanation of Thiruvarutpayan, which is one of the Saivasithantha Sastram, one of the grammar books on Saivasithantha. And it's like Tirukural, it's in Kural form, and that really gives you the understanding of Saivasithantha concepts like Padi, Pasu, Pasam, Tiruvarul, and all that kind of things in 10 titles, 10 Kurals in each. So it's 100 Kurals, which is not that hard to study, and Aiyah has given English explanation for that. So I recommend for all of you, because that's a great book if you can have it. Okay, now we are coming back to an hour or more of questions and answers. Adults can ask as well, but I will prefer more questions from the youths after this half an hour 45 minutes discussion. I'm sure there are more questions than answers, and please feel free. And if anybody wants the mic, I'm happy to give it to you, but it's a small room. Probably you don't need it, but if you, I'm happy to give it to you. Thank you.
How can we apply Saiva when we're studying at school or at university?
School.
திருச்சிட்டம். திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Sir, how do we teach Saivam in school and university? That's what you ask?
No, like as a student, how can we apply Saivam when we're studying at school?
Application of
apply
Saivam. Application of Saivam. Yes. Application of Saivam, as I already told you, when I started my lecture sometime before, I started that Saivam is basically cultivating love. Cultivating love. So the maturity level is different for a school boy and an university student. The maturity level will not be the same. Once you are growing, you are supposed to have maturity also getting developed. Maturity is not educational level. It's something different. Some people, some students may be bright in their academic career, but life-wise, if you see that they fail so many things in life, they don't tolerate even a small failures. They don't tolerate their even the kith and kin, their own brothers. They will not tolerate. All these things are there. See, eh, education is to wipe out the ignorance in our wisdom, and it's a different thing. But the maturity, that is to understand the life, it's a gradual process. The child starts understanding life little by little, and it starts loving its mother first, then father, then the family members, and then it extends its love to others, other relatives, then to others. Likewise, the love you should, the parents should see to it that the child is getting development in the mental maturity. So Saivam insists that cultivating love standards either in school or in university, the maturity level is different from education level. That Saivam cultivates the maturity level.
And another question. Which would you say is more important to Saivam? The religious parts, doing puja, going to the koil, singing Thevarams, or the spiritual part of acting compassionately, being a good person in your daily life?
It's a nice question. Yes. Again, that maturity. Again, suppose if you are not able to, if you want to develop the concentration. See, the inner concentration is more important finally. Inner concentration doesn't come immediately. So to concentrate, the puja has been recommended. So start performing some puja, concentrate, focus on something, some idols, some statues, focus on it, and then perform some puja, showing the gratefulness, gratitude to the Lord who has given you the life. See, we must be thankful to our parents, isn't it? They have given us this life. Likewise, the entire universe, the entire life has been donated by Lord, which we will understand once we grow up and get retired from the service. We will have ample time to think over, and then only we will think what we have done all these years. All these things are there. So, starting in Saivam, there are 4 stages being explained. One is Sariyai. Sariyai means doing some service. Doing some service, that is doing it either in temple or for the adiyas, you may extend some help like this. You can pluck flowers, gather flowers, and you can give them to the temple for the puja. Likewise, Sariyai, then comes the second stage, Kriyai. The Kriya only you mentioned, that puja. It is the second stage. All these stages are only meant for cultivating love for others. That is compassionate. What you say is that is the final goal, that we must be tolerate. We must tolerate the others, and we should not pinpoint the defects or limitations or shortcomings, drawbacks of others going on. We must analyze ourselves, doing self-auditing often, that what we are, what are our defects, how to null away all these defects, how to go about all these things. So this is called yoham. So yoham is self-analysis within yourself. So these are the three stages, sariyai, kiriyai, yoham, and above all, jnanam is there, to think about the Lord always and to see everything in the Lord's presentation. The Lord has given us, Lord has given us everything, to start realizing everything that gifted only by God.
And one more. What would you say that young adults like ourselves, what would you say we should do as Australians to improve Saivam in Australia, in Melbourne? Like, what's the most important thing we should do?
This question itself shows that you are inclined to develop Saivam in Australia. Definitely you will do. That much confidence I'm having. But see, obeying elders and adhering to their the instructions. Suppose, for example, this Victoria Saivasithantha Mandram, they are doing some service. You get yourself attached to it. You ask for some services to be rendered. You just pick out something that you can do, so that your main stream of life is not affected, so that you can extend your service in whichever way possible. But be sincere. Whatever service you do, be sincere and be 100% devoted time. Likewise, if you do that, I think only the youth force is necessary for developing Saivam in Australia. And I hope, since so many of you turned out here, so many of you would have turned out, but because of some reasons they would not have come, including them also. There is a strong force in Australia to develop Saivam. So we can get connected to the existing mandram, and we can offer our services for any service that being dictated by the mandram.
Thank you, Ayah.
Thank you. Question. Any other question? No. Yes. I will come to you, definitely.
I just have one question for you.
Sir.
I know you're very proud about your Saiva identity, but from my understanding, to achieve moksha, you have to be able to detach from your identity and what you're proud of.
Very good.
So, in order to do that, how would you do it?
It is a detached attachment.
What does that mean?
See, if you are in a family, you are not supposed to leave the family and go away to get moksha. You be there.
Yeah.
You be there, do your duties, but get detached. That you must be ready to lose anything at any time. You must have a mind that I am ready to lose anything at any time. I will not be sorrowful. But I will do my duty. I will not run away. I will not shirk my responsibility. I will do my duty. Likewise, you have attachment, but it's a detached attachment. At any time at any point of time, you will be ready to shirk. You are ready to lose the connection. If it is automatically lost, you will not worry about it. Okay, all this time it has been given by my Lord. Now it has been taken away. Nothing wrong. I will go ahead with the existing thing. So that sort of thing will make you happy. So likewise, moksha is not a attachment. It is a must of a soul. Moksha means the soul wants to be all time along with the Almighty. It wants to be along with the Almighty. A child wants to be under the cover of its mother for safety and security. Likewise, I also want to be safe and secure under the cover of Lordship. It is not attachment.
I have one more other question. You were saying that when the body rests, the soul doesn't sleep.
Yes.
So what is the soul doing when the body is resting? Is it conscious, or is it conscious separate from the
You just
body
tell
itself?
me, what's your experience when you are asleep? When you are fainted, what is your experience?
Well, I don't remember I only can remember the dreams I have.
Then you are in darkness, you are in ignorance. That's why even though you are within your body, you are owning your body, you are not able to communicate and interact with the universe. Even though it is with you, you are not able to do it. Where were you?
Not sure. But that was my curiosity is your consciousness.
That's what I claim, that we go to darkness. Once we get the detachment, yeah, temporary detachment of the, it's not a permanent detachment. Permanent detachment, it will not come out at all. It's called death. I need not explain you.
Yeah.
See, once you go to that sleep mode, the soul is inside, but it has been detached. The links are removed. I told you, Saivasithantha has analyzed that there are 35 links. It's a very detailed study. I think if you are able to squeeze some time and go through that, you will be able to appreciate it. So that out of the 35 links, when you go to sleep mode, 32 links are removed. Only there are 3 links. That is why the sleep mode is nearly a death mode. உறங்குவது போலும் சாக்காடு. Thiruvalluvar compares it towards death, the sleep mode. Because since you are inside, you don't hear what others say. Others are talking about you only when you are asleep.
Yeah, I understand that, but
They are making true comments also.
but is this soul not conscious at all?
Like,
Or is it only conscious?
yeah, we cannot say it's conscious. Conscious, we cannot say. Conscious, suppose I am talking, so many people may not be conscious. They will be, so their mind will be roaming somewhere else, and they will be thinking about something else. What will happen to my breakfast? What will happen to my lunch, dinner? What will we do? All these things. Whether my neighbor will throw some waste towards my house since I am not there. All these things they will be going. They are unconscious about this present state. So conscious is different. Sleep mode. You are meaning only the sleep mode. Am I correct?
Yeah, but I was just curious. Is the soul is what kind of allows you the body to do whatever?
Are you accepting this? There is a soul.
Yeah, I'm accepting it as a soul. I'm just curious to
Because
understand.
that is a basic the thing that we have to agree with. Some people say that there is not a soul at all. That's some claim. So basically, Saivasithantha claims that there is a soul, there is Almighty. So basically, these concepts are accepted. So what's your question, please?
I'm curious to understand, what is the soul doing? You're saying the soul goes into darkness, but is it then in action if it's when it's in darkness, or is it doing something or some sort of?
If you mention the 3 links that are remaining, then we might be. That's my
Do you want to know whether it is in action or
In action, if
any
it's,
act? No, it's not in action. That is why it is not able to hear. See, action means interacting with the world. If you, what do you mean by action? Is, if I am correct, interacting with the world, what others say, what is going on, what is happening, all these things. You must also track the time. All these things should happen. When the soul inside the body is active mode, in an active mode, it will be involved in the happenings of the world. What happens is in sleep mode, it is not at all involved. So many facts. Only when it gets up, it comes to know what has already happened during the night. Is it not?
yeah,
Some of the ministers, the state, Tamil Nadu state, they will come to know they have been removed from the cabinet only in the morning.
yeah. So the soul is like, because when you pass away, the soul leaves your body. What is it doing in between that time? Is there anything it does to develop itself, or does it have to, in order to develop itself, it needs to be reborn?
No. It doesn't have any action at all. Once it leaves the body, it is coming under the control of Lord. That's all. That's all. It doesn't have, because once it is with the body, God expects the performance of the soul in the world, only offering the body. As a matter of fact, Saiva Siddhantam will not say body, it will say 35 tools or 36 tools. He has given tools. The combination of all tools is called Stula body. That Stula body will be, we will lose it one day or other. We will lose it one day or other. Once we lost it, we have to wait as per the Saivasithantha, the soul has to wait for another chance to get a body in this world.
Yeah. That's okay.
Thank you.
Two questions, sir. ಒಂದು இந்த கூட்டு பிரார்த்தனை ஒன்று இருக்குது. கோயிலில் போனால் ஒரு ஆள் சொல்லணும் மட்டாக்கள் ஆடுவாங்க விளங்குதோ இல்லையோ ஐ ஸ்டில் டோன்ட் பிலீவ் இன் திஸ் கூட்டு பிரார்த்தனை. ஐ ஆம் டீலிங் டிரெக்ட்லி வித் காட். நான் கும்பிட்டு கொள்வேன். அது ரெண்டாவது த கன்செப்ட் ஆஃப் த டான்சிங் சிவா. ஐ ஆம் ஃபேசினேட்டட் பை இட். அதை கொஞ்சம் விளக்கமாக சொன்னீங்கன்னா நன்றி.
See, the Kuttu Prarthanai, praying in a group, it is recommended in Saiva. Adiyar nadul irukkum arulai puriyai, udayal undan naduvirukkum, udayal nadul நீ இருத்தி, அடியேன் நடுவுள் இருவீரும் இருப்பதானால் அடியேன் உன் அடியார் நடுவுள் இருக்கும் அருளை புரியாய். Unity is the strength. See, we must gather together and recite something. As a matter of fact, if you are able to concentrate and focus on the deity or idol by yourself, this is not recommended. That you are able to achieve it. But people who are not able to achieve their concentration and focus during their puja, they are recommended to join the group. Definitely. They will have a result. Because all minds are focusing on a single thing, and if we go and mix with them, then naturally our attention and our focus will also be drawn towards that. So we are influenced by the thoughts of others. Naturally, see, if you stand by the side of somebody, the thoughts of somebody, the man who is standing near you, the thoughts will definitely influence you. This is the finding of a science. If you are in a group of people who are all chanting or praying, then definitely you will have the influence of all those people on your mind. So it is only a positive effect. It's only of course, if the group is a mob and if you are inside, definitely you will have a negative effect also. So the thing is, it is recommended, the group thing is the group prayer, Kuttu Prarthane, is recommended for those who are not able to concentrate on his own and prayer. Then it is recommended for a Kuttu Prarthane, and you can just go ahead. As far as
the dancing Siva to the evening.
Can we kindly, I request that we dedicated this question time for questions from the youth only. I did say adults and youth, but I think there's an opportunity in the afternoon to ask any questions, and the dancing Siva will be answered by then. Thank you.
A lot of us as youth, we go to the temple by beck and call from our parents. Some of us, we go on our own accord. And in the process of going to the temple, we are told, well, we pray. But a lot of us are confused as to what to do in prayer. So what would you say is not the correct way, but the most ideal way to pray when you're at the temple, or what you should really be doing if and when you are at the temple?
see, that is why our mentors, Gurumars, they have offered so many prayers. Tirumuris are the only prayers. Yamakku archadai paate agum. Adalal sottamil paduga என்றார் தூமரை பாடும் வாயார். When you are before him, you are supposed to recite the songs composed by our Gurumars only exclusively for this purpose. So whenever you are in the presence of the deity or when you go to worship him, you just make your prayer out of the songs. You make a song in Devaram, you recite a song in Tiruvasagam, They are purely meant for our prayers. Some people present their demands before the Lord Shiva, but in Saivam it is not recommended because he knows what you want even without mentioning it. He knows why you have come to this temple. He knows because he is not available externally. He is within you itself. Unless he is inside, you cannot move because soul doesn't have any power. The power, thinking power, all power is being fed by the Lord Shiva, but it doesn't interfere with the likes and dislikes of the soul. It only feeds power. In a transistor, you hear whatever you want, any song you want. The battery gives the power, but the battery doesn't bother whether you are hearing godly songs or cinema songs. It doesn't bother. It just feeds power. That's all. Likewise, God also feeds power. The only outcome of prayer is being grateful to the Almighty. He has given the life. You must believe that this life is only offered by Him. Whoever I am, whatever I am, is only given by Him. So I am grateful, and also I recite, I utter, I recite the songs of Tirumurai. So definitely the prayer is complete only if you recite Devaram Tiruvasagam and other songs in Tirumurai. Tirumurai is only meant for prayer. So if you go to temple, if you stand before the deity, recite some song. Ammaye appa uppilamaniye anvinil vilaindaramude. Likewise, you can sing a song. பித்தா பிறை சூடி பெருமானே அருளாளா எத்தான் மறவாதே நினைக்கின்றேன் மனத்துன்னை வைத்தாய் பெண்ணை தென்பால் வெண்ணை நல்லூர் அருள் துறைகுள் அத்தா உனக்காளாய் இனி அல்லேன் எனலாமே. This is the prayer because he has given the tongue, he has given the capacity to talk, he has given the capacity to sing. All these things have been offered only by him. Offer it back to him. So sing a song. Sing a song means not any song, only from Tirumurais.
Well, I guess just to add on to that, is there, because to focus prayer through the Tirumura itself, and what we mentioned earlier today about language barrier being a big thing, is there any recommended translations or ways to extract the meaning from the Tirumuras themselves for us youth? Because as much as we can, we know Tamil and we recite it just by reading it in Tamil, we may not always get the meaning as well because some of the words and some of the meaning we won't truly grasp. Is there any recommended text or translations that you know of or have, or even like any the uncles and aunties that run the center? Is there anything that they recommend for translation and understanding of meaning?
Of course, we can do it. But if I am correct, you are a doctor, isn't it?
Not haven't started practicing yet. Just finished my studies.
Very nice. How much of efforts you must have put forth?
Oh, plenty. And
become a doctor.
Yeah.
See, it's not very easy. We may just say that you are a doctor, but to get that credit, what amount of efforts you would have put forth, how many nights you would have spent, how many days you would have devoted, all these things are there. Just to be a doctor, you have done wonderful this thing, and almost you are successful also. When you are trying to achieve something, you are spending time like anything that to achieve that thing, I will spend any more days, any number of days, any number of nights. Likewise, will be very difficult to learn Tamil.
Oh, it's not that difficult. It wouldn't be that difficult.
Yeah,
It's
why
just,
don't you?
it's more,
Why don't you people put forth some small efforts and learn Tamil just like that? So what's your
well, as a
no,
medical,
no.
as a
Yeah,
medical,
see, Mr. Saravanan,
yes.
I am not blaming you because I am not at all blaming you.
Oh, yes, okay.
I'm not blaming. Just please don't misunderstand me.
Of course.
But see, I'm very glad and I'm very happy that yeah, doctor has come forward to offer, to ask questions, to put forth things. You have taken, you have consumed your precious time over here. That is to be taken into consideration. I am very much appreciating your attitude, and you are also not only you are getting involved, you are making other motivating others also. Since you are coming, the people connected to you, you are motivating others.
I wouldn't take all the credit for that. They
Yes.
themselves are here for
Yeah,
themselves.
definitely. This motivation is very important because instead of parents motivating, the youths are motivating means it is well and good. Say. See, the success of this mandram, the success of this seminar, the success of things lies with your presence. You are present here, it is successful. That's all. You have taken so much of pains to come over here. You have taken so much of pains to come over here. You have taken so much of pains to get involved and asking some questions because you want to move in a right direction. You are asking me. But my grievance, my this thing is, why don't our children learn Tamil? Because it is our mother tongue. Is it that? See, it can be translated. Uh, Definitely, it can be translated, and transliteration can also be done. People are doing that also. Thoduடைய means THO, DU. Likewise, their transliteration also they are doing. Okay, well and good. But still, as I already told you, when I started this my lecture, I told you I can translate or transliterate the thing, but the feeling cannot be translated or transformed. You get the feeling. See, when you call your mother Amma, feel will not come in mummy. I don't think. I don't think. See, the mother in our Tamil Nadu, suppose the child comes from the school and if it calls Amma, the mother will get wild. I have spent so much of money on you for education and you are coming and calling me Amma. Call me Mummy. The child will be bewildered. You see. So likewise, of course, it can be done, and there people are doing what you recommend is good. The things can be translated. The simple English it can be translated. I have done Thiruvarutpayan. I am not a very good at. I am not an English professor. Some or other, I am able to manage with my little English to explain things. The Thiruvarutpayan has come out very nicely. People say so. Likewise, as you recommend, it can be translated, so that the meanings also can be taught. Some of the songs selected for prayers, they are called Panchapuranam. Those prayer songs can be selected and they can be explained in meaning wise, and the parents can also take the pains to teach the children the small prayer songs that can be done, and it can be noted by the mandram also as suggested by Mr. Saravanan, that some of the songs for prayer, selected songs for prayer, they can be translated, they can be given the meanings, and what is the meaning of the prayer that we are going to offer. Likewise, some songs may be selected and put forth. In Sydney also, they have put forth some. அது என்ன சார் சார் வந்திருக்காருல்ல அது பஞ்சபுராணம் அதுக்கு பேர் என்ன ஒன்று கொடுத்துருந்தாங்க Louder Vedam. The book is available here. But still, as Saravanan complains, everything is in Tamil. Of course, his representation is to be considered and taken to.
My question wasn't so much that, or complaint wasn't so much that everything is in Tamil.
Yes.
Because I'm sure that several of us here are fluent in reading Tamil.
Yes.
It's more so extracting the meaning from that.
Yes.
We're fluent in reading, but we're not fluent in comprehending and understanding what each word means.
That
And
can be
that's
attended to.
and that's where
Yes, yes.
that's what we are looking for, some way to
Yes, very
transition
nice,
with
very
that.
nice. No, no, don't ask them to go to that site, this site, and that thing. Let us do something. Let us select some songs, because if you go ask them to go to some site, they will open, and once they will get distracted and they will go to another channel instead of going to this site. People will do. I got my first experience. So better give them what they want. They want this. Let us give them. We can make a record of it.
I also have a bit of a philosophical question. Because you mentioned earlier when talking about prayer and when we're like trying to communicate with the Lord already has a path, has something set in mind for us. What are your thoughts on predestination versus free will? Like our ability for ourselves to make choices, and the fact that a path may already be led for us and we are just destined to walk down that path.
See, you are supposed to put forth your efforts. That is the life. Life is putting forth the efforts. But see, you have not just chosen your birthplace. You have not chosen your parents. You have not chosen your the what we call the environmental this thing in which you have been brought up. All these things are predetermined. Is it not? We have not decided. All these things are predetermined. Of course, in out of the predetermined things, you are supposed to behave. That's all. So you, as far as you are putting forth the efforts and behavior, you are free to express. See, you get wealth. Suppose, let us say, you are getting some money. It is predetermined one. You get money. You have a rich father. You inherit from him rich money. Okay. What is your behavior towards that inheritance? How are you going to use that money? That is up to you. Is it not? That is actually predetermined. Some people have poor parents, some people have rich parents, some people are brought up by a rich atmosphere levels. Some students, they study in a poor status. So many people are suffering. But the status or the environmental conditions, they are all predetermined. We cannot change it. We cannot change. If I don't like my father and mother, I cannot change them. I cannot change my birthplace. They are predetermined once for all. But if I inherit something or if I get over something, what will be my behavior? So you are given some education. How are you going to use that education? How are you going to use your doctorship? Whether you might have some idea, I will set up an hospital to serve people, poor people, or I will particular disease. I will do a research and get good medicines for that disease. All those things like that. It is your putting forth the efforts. So the behavior, likes and dislikes, God never interfere. The soul has its own likes and dislikes, out of which it is doing deeds. Those deeds only, it is the responsibility of the soul to receive them, because it has done it with its likeness. It has done it with its dislike. So it is its responsibility to receive. If you do something wrong, then you are supposed to receive the result of that. Is it not? So the balancing about these two that we have to do. But no religion, especially Saivasithantha, never say that be quiet, don't do anything, be in your place. No, not like that. You be active. You do some service, do good, think good, talk good, do good things. That is the actual way of praying Lord also. One way of praying Lord is getting good thoughts, serving people. That's also. But you must be having the real concept that God is there to offer all these things. He is at my background. He is helping me in each and every step. That you must build.
So thank you for that. Any other questions from any of the youths? No. I think I just have one more question that I noted down earlier. Um, because most of us are here because from a young age our parents exposed us to temple and religion and with the spirituality and all of that. But if you were to talk to someone who didn't have the same upbringing, that they weren't taken to the temple as a child, or even if they were of another faith, another background, um, what what reasons would you give to them to be more spiritual or more religious, to be like, what reasons would you give them to be involved in Saiva?
You are trying to say that the children are taken to are not taken to temple by their parents.
Yeah, like as in people who like children who probably not had the same upbringing as us, that been taken, like exactly what you've said, taken to the temple by our parents from a young age.
They are not exposed to religious activities.
Yeah.
They are not exposed to religious activities. What about the status you are asking? See,
I'm asking, like, what would you say to them if they want, like, especially if they wanted to know more about Saiva, but also reasons to get involved
once
as well?
again, I am just repeating my statement that it is only a predetermined circumstances the child has come out. But if the child, that is why we believe the connection between the last birth and the present birth. If the child is interested in getting peace, it will be, once it gets maturity, it will be such of a peace. So even though the parents would not have exposed, when it comes to a social level or social status, definitely it would have been given the exposure of the temples and other things it would have come across. If it has the natural taste or natural interest, it has the opportunity to come over to the temple to spend time. Not all parents only the only source of the information for the children. Children may grow up, and at a certain stage, the children will give information to their parents. They will get more informative. They are more informative. They are more pious and more. They will be more attached to God, and they will be doing pujas and performance. And they will in turn, they will make. There are so many examples. Children turned out. Their children just turned their parents into the religion. Parents take for me, my example. My father was not very much attached to temple and all. But once I started talking in temple and other things, some or other he got convinced, and he was asking me, he would be asking me, he was no more now, he was asking me, you take me whenever you go to temple. I want to listen to your talking. So many things are coming to know, be known now. So take me. Likewise, some children may be the teachers for the parents. It would have turned up like that. So we believe that the predetermined things are unbreakable. It happens, but the likes and dislikes of the soul, it persists. It decides whether we are going to come back or whether we are going to disconnect this birth cycle. It has to decide. If it is very much interested in these worldly activities, it can get involved in the worldly activities and it can come back. But I'm not interested in these worldly activities. It is full of miseries and sufferings. Once we get old, we get lot of sufferings, and we are not wanted by anybody, and we are just living a life, miserable life. Like those things are there. Even when we are in childhood, also we have been suffering. All these things are there, of course. So the life as a whole is full of sufferings and misery. We should become here. So is there any way to get liberated out of this link? So the soul may think, the soul may think, it's full of pleasure of this world. We can enjoy everything. I have not enjoyed so many things. I have to come back. God gives the chance again for the soul to come back. That's the belief of our Saiva.
Thank you for that. Thank
Thank
you.
வணக்கம் ஐயா.
வணக்கம்.
ஒரு நீங்கள் இப்போ சொன்னீங்கள் இப்படி நாங்கள் எங்கள்ட வாழ்க்கையில் எங்கள்ட வாழ்க்கையில் சஃபரிங் மிசரி வயசு போக போக அது கூட கூட ஆகுமெண்டு. ஆனால் இப்படி ஆனால் முதலும் சொன்னீங்கள் இப்படி நாங்கள் வாழைக்குள்ள பாசத்தோட அன்போட எங்களை சுற்றி இருக்கிறோட அப்படி தான் வாழணுமெண்டு. அப்போ அந்த பாசமும் அன்பும் காட்டிக்கலாம் அதில் இருந்து வர சந்தோஷம் அந்த மிசரியை விட கூடன்னு நான் யோசிக்கிறேன். நான் மிசரியை விட அது அதுல இருந்து
You are very lucky.
என்றால் அம்மா வந்து எல்லா நேரம் சொல்றவ இப்படி நாங்கள் திருப்பி திருப்பி பிறக்கிறோம், பின் வாழ்க்கையில செய்த பாவங்கள் போகணும், அப்படி நாங்கள் இறைவனாடி எப்படியோ அடைவோம்.
Once you grow up, the general theory is once you grow up, you are not wanted by the youths. You are a nuisance. ஐயா சொன்னா சரி. It is understood that you are loving your father. It is understood because Sivaraja is to be loved by one and all. So,
நான் அதை சொல்லல. நான் சொன்னேன் இப்படி நீங்கள் வாழ்க்கை அப்படி வாழ்ந்தால் அன்பும் பாசமும் எல்லா நேரமும் எல்லாருக்கும் காட்டி கொண்டிருந்தால் வயசு வந்தாலும் நீங்கள் அது அதே மாதிரி வாழ்ந்து கொண்டிருந்தால் மிசரி அநேகமா இருக்காது.
Okay. See, you are mixing up between the pasam and anbu. They are different. Pasam is called patru, attachment. Anbu is love. Pasam, patru will expect something in return. Pasam, if you show love, pasam, even though you call it as anbu, it's not anbu. Because you are showing pasam to kith and kin only. I cannot show pasam to my neighbor or the person in the opposite house. I cannot show. Or my colleague. It's not pasam. What do you call it? Only love. See, pasam is different from love. You can show love to your elders and people. You need not show pasam. Because pasam means getting something in return. A child, when it is being brought up by mother should not expect anything in return from the child. Our child should not expect anything in return. After it has grown up, it has achieved the maturity level, it has gone to a job or something like that. It should not expect anything from the mother also. It should be of service. So, in between, if there is an attachment, expecting something one from the other, it is called a pasam. But what I am talking is, the pasam will cheat you, deceive you. If you show real love, it will come to the even to the last stage. I am showing love to my father even now because father is not doing anything to me. As a matter of fact, I am caring for him. Father is now retired. He is an old thing. He needs help. I am doing help. I don't get anything out of him, but I am showing love to him. This is called love, not pasam. Pasam, if you would have shown pasam, then at certain stage, the reason for the pasam has been removed because you are expecting something from him. All things have been achieved. So many children are abandoning their parents only because of that. Because no more gain out of the parents. They are only burden. So they look for home for elders. And they leave their parents only in the home for little. If what you say is correct, then there should not be home for aged. There are so many homes in India itself, in Tamil Nadu itself. So because people, the children are abandoning the parents, thinking they are burden. So right from the beginning, show no attachment to the children. You just bring them up with a love. That's all. You be ready to part away from them, detach from them at any point of time, thinking only relationship I am having is with the Almighty. The Almighty is having kindness towards me and He is taking care of me and He is going to take care of me till my last day. That is the belief that Saiva is having. He doesn't believe that this man will look after me, this man will take care of me. All these things they will not think, but they should show love. So pasam is only bondage. Love is not, it is one thing that we don't expect anything out of it in return. If you show love, well and good, you show love. In return, you don't expect anything. Love will not expect anything in return.
Okay, thanks.
Any more questions from the younger group?
Just one quick question I had, because you're talking about love and also the definition of like pasam and anbu. How does kadal, romantic love, come into the situation, or how does that come onto the table within Saivasithantha?
Kadal is another form of pasam.
In that it's love that
Yes.
you expect something in return,
It's only lust.
but why are love and lust two separate words? Why are they not one and the same word?
Love is a common word, lust is a special word.
Okay, thank you. Well, I guess just to add on to that, just to add on to that, because it's a very, I'm pretty sure it's a very interesting can of worms we've opened.
Somehow or other, you want to support the love.
No, I'm just curious. Like, if
Yes.
in life,
Please go ahead.
If we're in life,
I don't know that I can convince you with your love and lust. But you are loving somebody means no, loving parents. I mean nothing else. If you are no inner meaning. It is well and good. It's well and good. Showing love to others is recommended always. Just put forth your question.
well, I guess because all like any relationship that we have, even with our parents, for example, past like you should have love that without expectation, but also within that relationship there will be moments where there is expectation as well.
Yes.
So are you, even with siblings, friends, and partners in the future as well, are you is what you're saying that you should, or even like with your neighbors and people that you see on the street, you should just extend the the compassion to them rather than expect like, even though there will be moments where you do have expectation, are you suggesting that we should just recommend that we extend that one-sided compassion without any expectation in return? Is that what you're suggesting?
That is the correct statement you have made. See, without you don't care about the man you are showing love. Let him be a parent or a neighbor or your colleague or your co-worker, anybody. You are showing love and you don't expect anything. But it doesn't mean that he should also be of the same sort. You are a person of your own qualities. You develop your own qualities. You are unique. As a matter of fact, all souls are unique by itself. So the whole life has been spinned with expectations that we have to accept. See, once you expect something, then you must be ready for any result. So not all times that favorable result will come. Sometimes some disappointment may come. Then when the disappointment comes, your love becomes false. Because you have shown your love to a person of some expectation, you made it. That was not returned. So your love is a failure. So that sort of failure, this love will never face. Love without expectation will never fail. Love with expectations will definitely fail. So that is why don't expect anything. Even if you grow up, if you bring your children up, don't expect anything from them. Just because I'm just bringing them up, they must take care of me at my old age. They must take me to hospital. They must be taking to all these things. You don't expect because the situation may not be like that at all. Parents may be somewhere, and the children would have been employed somewhere else. They would have been physically away from each other. And how can they expect that they will be taking care of them? So they will be disappointed. Some people get even psychological effects. Once they depart, once they part away with their son or daughter, they get psychologically affected. Some psychiatric effects are also there because they have shown so much of love expectation with the expectation. So expectation leads to peaceless mind and so many things. If you are not expecting anything, show love to him. You are showing love to your friend. You don't expect anything from him. If some help is required, offer him the help without expecting him that he will give back the help once again, not expecting that. Then you are not disappointed if he reacts negatively. So all these things are being taught in Saivam. Don't expect anything when you show love without any preconditions, show love. Of course, what you say is correct. Our life is like only the like that. We are having expectations from our parents, from children, from friends, from neighbors. Everywhere we go, we expect something. We are showing love only expecting something. If the neighbor comes and praises my son, then I can understand he is going to demand something. He will be asking some paper at least. Is it that? So we can come to the conclusion why he is coming and praising my son. Some expectation he is going to have that I can detect, isn't it? So likewise, life is made of expectations. That has to be accepted. True. But can we develop a love without expectations? You just try. That's how Saivam says.
Thank you. That was all very well said. Thank you very much. I think the youth are done with their questions. I'm not sure if anyone else has anything to ask. But thank you again on behalf of all the youth that have come today. Thank you very much for having this Q&A with us. Sorry if we pestered you a bit too much, but thank you for indulging in our curiosity. And
Definitely. I am equally pleased. I am equally pleased to meet the youths, and they have actually sincerely come out and they have sincerely put forth the questions. I was delighted to answer them. It was a very delightful session in my Melbourne trip. Definitely.
oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
வைக்கிறாங்க பழகுறத பொறுத்து தான் பார்த்தோம் என்னுடைய டூ எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஐ எம் ஒர்க்கிங் வித் சில்ட்ரன் பேபி மூன்றாவது வகுப்புல இருந்து வந்து கூப்பிடுவாங்க நான் அவங்கள திரும்பி பார்க்கலையான்னு சொன்னா அந்த நாள் கொடுக்க அழகு குழந்தைகள் இருக்கு ஆனா எங்க பேரு சொந்த பேரு குழந்தைகள் அவ்வளவு ஃபீலிங் இல்லை என்னடா நான் பழகுறது பிறகு டெய்லி பழகுற குழந்தைகள் அது உண்மையான பாசத்தை உணரக்கூடிய கலர் டிஃபரன்ஸ் நான் லாங்குவேஜ் பேக்ரவுண்ட் டிஃபரன்ட் ஹோல் ஆனா அவைகள் அந்த பாசப்பட்டதை அவங்க உணரக்கூடியது குழந்தைகள் கள்ளக்கோட்டம் இல்லாத அந்த அறிவுல அந்த அந்த பாசத்துக்கு நீங்க பழகிறது பாசம்
There's always something good out of something bad. So our food is getting delayed. So, so we are going to have a fantastic presentation by Suryakumar on Saivam, scientific basis of Saivasithantha and science. I'm sure the youngsters are very keen. While they are setting it up, I just wanted to assure the youths here, if, because Saivasithantha Mandram has been considering having these Tirumurai classes, and we are happy to engage a group of people and teach them not necessarily Tamil but in English for the start. And so we can formulate, we don't have any structure as yet, but we can formulate something. If anybody interested, just give your names to Indralingam here. And if there is significant numbers, then I'm sure we have an expert teacher in our group who can really help. Arundhati Sivaraja will be there for and also we can direct you to English literature on Tirumurai. Thank you.
Before I start, I think it's worthwhile you're getting up and doing a bit of a stretch. You will need a stretch. I think you can say Om or Om Namah Shivaya or whatever that comes to your mind. Or we can do a collective Om Namah Shivaya that Aiyah has asked us to do after each of his presentations. So I'm going to give it to Aiyah to do that for you. Okay. Om Namah Shivaya 5 times.
My job is not yet over. Tiruchitrambalam. Oh Namah Shivaya. 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 Tiruchitrambalam.
This was going to be a graveyard shift presentation after lunch one. So lucky for me, it's coming before lunch, but I don't know whether I can say lucky or unlucky again. But let's see what we can go through. Most of what I'm going to present is will be known to most of you, especially the youth. But I'm just going to skip through a few the snippets of some connection. And what do we understand as science? What is the science? Science is my thinking is that it's goes through a rational thinking, some analysis, some experiments carried out, and it's proven. It's a proven truth. So if that definition is accepted, then Saivasithantha is also a science on its own. You don't need to actually find linkages, and it's a proven science because it's been practiced for thousands of years. And who has been hearing Sivakumar Aiyah would have got the reinforcement of the idea that this universe is not just not operating on its own. There is something that is driving it, and the Shiva, that what we call as Shiva, is one Brahman, one body is in each one of us. Just this, even the dead wood has electrons spinning in it. So there's action there. So that Nataraja is everywhere. That's the starting point. I got a few of that. So I've gone through that already, but this is mostly Google searching and some reading. And I don't know how many of you have seen. There are research publications coming out on this. Well researched, referenced, gone through proper process. There have been PhDs done on this topic. It's not something that it's actually now a growing topic, and this is something the youth should take up, and it can actually really taken up a slot higher. So the first one is about Shiva and physics. You all would have seen about this Nataraja statue in the front of what's called CERN. I don't know, it's a French term. It's a European organization for nuclear research, and it's been operating since 1954. It's a very fairly established one, and it has a capacity to do particle this collision. All this done there. It has got the facilities for that. And for whatever reason, I don't know whether it was the influence of Indians involved or whatever, but they have decided to keep Nataraja there to show the connection to something beyond simple thinking. So within that, what I have touched on here is that this dance represents the interplay between matter and antimatter. Don't ask me what they mean. I'm not a physicist. But this Shiva, if you truly believe in Shiva in action, he is in each one of us. And that's why we call Anbe Shivam. That's this Anbu coming through. That's the love Ayah was talking about. And our ancient scriptures have this reference. Avayar has said in Vinaya Rahaval that Anuvukku Anuva, he is referring to Lord Ganesha, but it's equally applicable to Shiva, Lord Shiva. Anuvukku Anuvahi, Appal Kappal. Anuvukku Anuvahi, Appal Kappal. Appal Kappal is beyond infinity. So he is being seen as somebody who is at the smallest of the smallest particle, and also extending, pervading beyond the universe. So that's a connection that we have known that exists, and this is not really a scientific principle as such, but this is something unique in Saivasithantha, within our philosophy, that we have Arthanarishwarar, equal half of male and female. And it's only now the science also, it's been there for a while, but that male and female working together in unison keeps the universe going. I'm going to go through this quickly, but this presentation can be made available to you all to have a look at later if you like to. And temple actually has been very scientifically based. There are books and agamas about how temple is constructed, how it is, and it's not simple science. It's fairly complex science behind it. One view is that temple actually represents the body with the figure shows. The Moolasthana is at the in between the Puruvam, and then the cobram is the head, and then maybe not for my head, but for most of others. And then the legs represent the moon cobra. I'm sorry. This is the sort of the Vimanam. So, and there are also chakras within the human body where the body interacts with the universe, and the temple has been built to actually harmonize this feeling. I don't know how many of you have felt in some temples. You can sort of really feel the vibration, and that's the reason behind temples are still drawing huge people, huge number of devotees. And the other end, that temple is also seen to represent the universe through the five elements. And there's a reason behind every piece of architecture in a temple. And they have been brought together to give that feeling of connection with the universe. So not only we go inward, we also go outward. This is Tirunuru. That's something we all do, and we all know the benefits of it. And the scientific basis is that this Puruvam, this particular area in between the Puruvams, is called Agnya Chakra, and it's a special point in the body. And by having the Tirunuru, which is burnt ash, you can say devoid of organic material, it has the capacity to screen some other negative thoughts. So I don't know how many of you have actually felt we don't feel free to wear a Tirunuru, for example, when you're in the public transport or when you are going around, because we feel we might be unnecessarily noticed. But if you are brave enough to do that, I think that'll be beneficial, because it's going to give us that added strength within us. So there's some science behind it. There's more research being done on that too. And Tirunuru, of course, have been really highlighted in many of the Tirumurais that I was talking about, the validity of Tirunuru wearing. And Namashivaya, which we just did, that chanting, there have been experiments done about use of chanting, systematic chanting, even in plants and animals. It's proven through experiments. And Om Namah Shivaya is a special sequence of Acharam. Acharam is that like Namah Shivaya. That has that sequence, when chanted properly, has the capacity to bring up our consciousness to a higher level. And it's actually creating a wave pattern which brings our thoughts together, even for concentration, even for students. If we can chant Namah Shivaya internally, it helps. It has helped me. So in summary, I hope this gets some taste of. There's much more to say, but I was given only 15 minutes, so I don't have any more time. But and this always there's a lot of material around, and I don't have the capacity to answer your question. You can ask the questions to Sivakumar Aiyah later if you have any particular questions about this. Thank you.
I hope you all enjoyed that research paper. When we looked at the dot points, we were amazed by the amount of material that's out there, and for all youngsters, just go and do the research and you will learn a lot. And we are still waiting for the lunch to be delivered. So somebody is on the road and I hope they arrive safely. It's supposed to be here 12:30. Now they said 1, so maybe a few minutes. There was a question asked on concept of dance of Shiva, and I will give it to Aiyah to elaborate on that one. Video.
திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். நடராஜர் பத்தி கேட்குறாங்க ஐயா, அது நடராஜர் தத்துவத்தை சொல்லுங்கன்னு. 2 விதமான கொஸ்டின்ஸ் உண்டு. ஒரு விதமான கொஸ்டின் அறியாவினா, இன்னொரு விதமான கொஸ்டின் அறிவினா. அறியாவினான்னா பதில் தெரியாம கேள்வி கேட்கறது, என்ன பதில் தெரியல நீங்க சொல்லுங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு கேட்கறது. அறிவினாங்கிறது பதில தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்ட கேள்வி கேட்கறது அப்படின்றது. இப்ப ஆசிரியர் மாணவரை கேள்வி கேட்டாருன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், அவர் அறிவினா, ஆசிரியருக்கு பதில் தெரியும், இருந்தாலும் மாணவனை கேட்கிறாரு. ஏன் கேட்கிறாருன்னா ஆசிரியருக்கு பதில் தெரிஞ்சுக்கணுங்கிறதுக்காக கேட்கிறாரு இல்ல, அவருக்கு தெரியும் ஏற்கனவே பதில். அது அறிவினான்னு பேரு. மாணவன் ஆசிரியரை கேட்பான் சில சமயம். அப்படி கேட்கிற பொழுது அறியா வினாவைத்தான் இருக்கணும். அப்படி அறியா வினாவா கேள்வி. இப்ப இது அறிவினாவா அறியா வினாவா அப்படிங்கிறது நமக்கு தேவையில்லை. அவருக்கு இல்லை 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 அவருக்கு ஏன்னு சொன்னா, நடராஜர் மேல பிரியம்னா நடராஜரை பத்தி அவருக்கு தெரியும்னா நிச்சயம் நடராஜர்னா என்ன ரெப்ரசன்ட், ஹவு டஸ் இட் ரெப்ரசன்ட், வாட் டஸ் இட் ரெப்ரசன்ட், இஸ் ஹேவிங் 6 hands, 4 கரங்கள், அந்த அந்த 5 கரங்கள்ல என்ன பண்றார், 2 காலு, இதெல்லாம் என்ன சிம்பாலிக் ரெப்ரசன்டேஷன் அப்படிங்கிறது கேட்குறாங்க ஐயா. சரி, அவங்களுக்காக சொல்றேன். ஒரு கையில அந்த ட்ரம்பட் வச்சிருக்கார், அந்த உடுக்கை வச்சிருக்கிறார் ஒரு கையில, இன்னொரு கையில நெருப்பு வச்சிருக்கார், இஸ் ஹோல்டிங் ஃபயர். another in the right hand is holding this trumpet nadam. Another hand is holding fire. One hand he is swinging, அது வீசிய கைன்னு பேரு, வீசுகரம்னு பேரு. One hand he is blessing, அது அபயகரம்னு பேரு. இருக்கா? I am doing it correctly? Yes. So அபயகரம், இந்த 4 கரங்கள்ல ஒரு கரத்துல அது, that holding trumpet is representing the part of creation, படைப்பு. Because even science accepts that the creation started from sound, then only light came. That's how the science also explains. So nadam, then vindu. Nadam means sound, vindu means light. So that's how it starts. So he creates out of sound, nadam. It is being represented by the trumpet he is having in his hand. அதுக்கு உடுக்கைன்னு பேரு தமிழ்ல. Then he is protecting. He is protecting. Protection is done by his the right palm. He is showing, I will protect you. He is showing. So it is being represented by the protection. So creation, protection, and then destruction. It is being done by fire. So he is holding fire in one of his hands. On the left hand he is holding fire, which represents that one day or other he completely shrinks the whole world into a tiny spot, in a tiny spot. So that is called Suchamam. All things come only from Suchamam. Something is Sthulam means it must have its Suchamam. That is called the cause. This is cause and effect. So cause is Suchamam, effect is Thulam. The seed is cause, the tree is the effect. That is Thulam. So likewise, the fire, it represents the Sushama of the whole world being drawn into the original status of Sushamam. One day or other, he will bring it like that. Because that stage he is doing it because the whole world, the whole atmosphere may not be fit enough for the living beings to live on. Now water is polluted, land is polluted, air is polluted, all pollutions are going on, and now at one stage, the total universe may be unfit for the beings to live here. So at that time, even scientists accept this Uri. We say the day of destruction, the final day. He will put forth everything into a small, tiny. Einstein has also agreed with that. He has told that the whole world will be a tiny spot. It will be shrunk as a tiny spot that can be swallowed by an ant. To that size it will come, he says. Okay. So, creation, protection, destruction, and then two more things he is doing, that is shielding, that is marital. Marital he is doing with one of his legs. If you just see his right leg, he is stamping on Moilahan. It shows that our bad attitudes and bad thoughts. So he is putting his leg on it. As a matter of fact, he is stamping on it. That leg represents that marital todil. Marital means so many things are shielded from us. We do not know. We are knowing something this birth, but what were they in my last birth? Those things are not known to me. I am doing something. What will be the result? I am unaware of it. Anything may come out, good may come out, wrong may come out. I am writing examination. What marks will come? I do not know. I have done some performance. So, marital, shielding, that is being done by one leg. He has lifted his own leg. That leg is called the Arulal. That shows that if you come here and surrender, I will just lift you up. You come here, you catch hold of this leg, I will pull you down out of the misery and suffering. So he is doing five these deeds. The one is creation, the second one is protection, third one is destruction, and the fourth one is the shielding, the final one is gracing. So all these things are continuously being done by him in every aspect. Every day, for example, we are born in the morning, we are active during daytime, and we go to sleep mode in the night. Again, we are waking up in the next morning. Again, it is considered next birth. Likewise, the larger cycle is also there. The smaller cycle, every day we are experiencing, and the larger cycle is also death and birth. It's a larger cycle. It can be just compared, as Thiruvalluvar says. So this is the theory behind. He says that I am controlling all the five activities. So we represent Nadaraja is the king of all. Nadaraja is the king of all activities. He does everything for the betterment of the soul to get liberated from the sufferings.
அறியாது அறியாததுன்னா நான் என்னுடைய 3 வயசு பேர குழந்தைய பக்கத்துல வச்சுக்கொண்டு ஆரம்பிச்சு பண்றேன். இந்த நான் அவ்வளவு கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்ணி சுவாமி உருவத்தை பார்க்கறேன்னா குழப்பலாமா என்ன கூப்பிடலாமா சொன்னா நான் என்னன்னு சொன்னேன், ஐ ஹேட் சிவா. வயு இல்ல ஐ லைக் ஐ ஹேட் சிவா. எங்களுடைய சுவாமி படத்துல பார்த்துட்டு why he is stepping on the bed.
குழந்தை சொல்றதுக்கெல்லாம் காரணம் கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டு இருந்தீங்கன்னா உங்க லைஃப் முழுக்க வீணா போயிடும். And it will blabber something. See, you cannot attach meaning to each and every question the child is asking. If Saravanan is asking, attach more importance to that question. Yeah. அது முதல்ல அப்படி போட்டவங்களை கேட்கணும். என்ன கேட்டு நான் என்ன பண்றது? See, the sound is represented by a straight line. The light is represented by the circle. It is called suri. Kodu suri. Nadam is sound. It is represented by lion. The suri is represented by the circles, small circles. You put a straight line and put a small circle. The people start writing in the olden days, they will put a straight line and a small circle. What does it represent? It represents, Nadam represents Sikaram, Suri represents Vagaram. So instead of writing Siva, what I'm saying is given by Tirumandiram. So they put a straight line and they put a small circle, which represents Nadam Vindu. The whole universe is built upon Nadam and Vindu. The whole universe is made up of Oliyum, Nadam and Vindu, which is represented by the line and a small circle. If just look at it, the people start doing it like this, writing a straight line, drawing a straight line, and putting a small circle. And as time goes, it just looked like the tudikai, elephant tusk mari, adu tudikai mari irundhu. உடனே அதை பார்த்தோன்னா அவங்க ஒரு யானை மாதிரி இருக்குன்னொன்னே அதை டக்குன்னு யானை உருவம் கொடுத்துட்டாங்க. அந்த ஓங்காரத்துக்கு நாதம் விந்து தான் ஆஃபர். சி, ஓங்காரம் இஸ் built out of நாதம் and விந்து. ஓங்காரம், அகரம், உகரம், மகரம், விந்து, நாதம், 5 constituents of ஓங்காரம். Out of which agaram, ugaram, magaram, creation, protection, destruction. And the energy is obtained from oliyum. So that Omkaram is represented by a straight line and a small circle. So that straight line and small circle, துதிக்க மாதிரி இருக்கணும்னு அதை பார்த்த உடனே ஒரு யானையை அதை கிரியேட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. அப்படிதான் இட் ஹஸ் கம் அவுட். குழந்தைங்க என்ன வேணா கேட்கும். குழந்தைங்க வந்து முயலகன் அங்க வச்சதுல உங்களுக்கு என்ன அப்ஜெக்ஷனு? இல்ல, அது 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 மாதிரி வரையக்கூடாது. அது அந்த மாதிரி வரைஞ்சதுதான் தப்பு. முயலகன் வந்து குழந்தை இல்லை. அது வந்து அந்த முயலகன்கிறது வந்து ஒரு எராட்டிக் பிஹேவியர் ஆஃப் அவர் பிரெயின். அது அது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அஷ்ட கோணலா இருக்கும். கை இப்படி போயிருக்கும், இந்த கை இப்படி போயிருக்கும், தலை இப்படி திரும்பி இருக்கும், கண்ணு ஒரு பக்கம் போயிருக்கும். அந்த மாதிரி தான் வரையணும். அது மாதிரி அஷ்ட கோணலா இருக்கும். அந்த பார்க்கறதுக்கே விகாரமா இருக்கும் முயலகன். அது வேற ஒன்றும் இல்லை, அது அவர் தாட்ஸு. நம்ம தாட்ஸ் எல்லாம் அதை வந்து சப்ரஸ் பண்ணி அதை கான்சன்ட்ரேட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு, அதை சப்ரஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு சுவாமியினுடைய திருவுருள் அது வேணும். அது காட்டுறதுக்காக நம்ம படங்களில் போடும்போது அதை அழகாக ஒரு பொம்மை மாதிரி போட்டுடுறாங்க. அப்படி போடக்கூடாது, குழந்தை மாதிரியும் போடக்கூடாது. அதை போடுறது முயலகன்கிறது கல்பிரிட்டு.
நன்றி ஐயா. Lunch வந்துட்டுது, so that's good news. But the bad news is that I'm going to call the little ones and the youth to go and have their lunch first because the space is limited. So others, we are going to close the live stream that's on the YouTube for the moment, and then we will restart it again. This is for their benefit. And Suri is going to play. There's going to be a PowerPoint display of what Saivasithantha does or have done so far, and what it's going to do and things like that. So guys, go and have your lunch, and the others can watch this and then wait for your turn. Thank you.